Air Guitar World Championships. 18 contestants from all corners of the globe had to impress the judges and the audience with their skills as they battled it out for the star prize, a real guitar.
The eventual winner was Nordic Thunder, also known as Howard, from the United States. The organisers of the event reckon that there'd be world peace if only everybody played the air guitar.
Now look.
Having done it an hour ago, I'm not going to do it.
No, because I think an hour ago when you tried to do it, we didn't give you some space and we didn't give you some music, you know, and
maybe at 10:05.
10:05. Go on, just give us a little bit. Go on. No. We'll get him to do it at some point. It's good. You are up to date. It is 11 minutes past 7. We're talking about the Eurozone now because there are going to be tough questions on the agenda when the Greek Prime Minister meets the French President later. The Greek Prime Minister is going to try to persuade Eurozone leaders that Athens needs more time to implement tough spending cuts.
However, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel has maintained her stance that Greece has to stick to its painful reforms. So where does that leave the country's finances? Well, joining us now is John Whittaker, who's an economist at Lancaster University. Dr. John Whittaker, thanks very much indeed for coming in. This is dragging on and on and on, isn't it? I mean, are we any closer to a resolution to this, or the Greeks just continually going to be needing extra time?
Well, we've seen so many of these cases of these summits, haven't we, where they've reached some compromise, some fudge, if you want to call it that, and it's been going on for a long time, and I think it'll go on for a long time further. You know, they've still got plans for this banking union, fiscal union, agreed in principle, never any details as usual, and all that's got to be resolved. It's going to be months, if not years, before we ever get sight of the end of all this.
We need to be quite sympathetic, I think, to Antonis Samaras at the moment because, yes, he's asking for more time. Yes, a deal has been brokered and he needs to stick to it. But what he faces at home, you know, when we see pictures of the country looking run down, we see people struggling, you know, employment's at a low. He's battling two fronts. He's battling the politicians, but also he needs to give something to the people of his country, some encouragement.
You're absolutely right, yes. Conditions in Greece are pretty dire. Over half of the young people in Greece are out of work. You know, we think we've got it bad in this country. Go and have a look what's happening in Greece. It's no wonder that Mr. Samaras is doing his best to at least get some concessions out of the Germans and French. I think I should if I were in that position as well. He's got his opposition at his back as well. You remember the guys who did terribly well in the last election, they want some concessions as well, and they're complaining at Mr. Samaras for not being tough enough.
So the Germans and the French leaders, they need to be more sympathetic, surely.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Merkel's trying to do her usual trick. She says, we want to be good friends with you, provided you do all the heavy lifting, you cut pensions, you cut benefits, you sack all those public sector workers like you promised to do, and yeah, we'll make sure that the next tranche of bailout money comes through. So actually, no concessions whatever from Germany so far.
You can kind of, in a way, see the Germans' point, because are they not really the ones who are trying to hold this all together?
Yes, of course you can, yeah. I think the German population is getting more and more fed up with all this. They can see this huge exposure, not just to Greece, but the other peripheral countries as well, and no end in sight. And they don't actually know half of the story because there's a huge amount more being lent through the central banking system. If you add it all together, it becomes enormous numbers. The Germans are exposed to something coming up for $1 trillion, euros here.
Is there a danger still that one of these countries, whether it's Greece or Italy or Spain or whoever, may yet default and the whole thing may come crashing down, or is it shored up a little more than it was a few months ago?
Can I just distinguish there between default? Yeah, I think Greece is going to default again on its debt. There's nobody who believes that Greece can actually sustain the amount of debt it's now carrying. On the other hand, let's look at the departure from the Eurozone, which is being discussed. I think they'll stay in for quite a lot longer yet, because there's huge fear, not just in Greece, of a departure from the euro, but also from the other European countries. They don't want Greece out because they know what that'll do to the whole euro project. They know what that'll do to the other euro countries. It'll make it suddenly the euro is not forever. Some country can leave, other countries will then leave as well. This grand project will be at an end, and that would be terrible for them.
It's very easy for us to sit here and talk about what's going on over there, but surely there is an impact here in the UK.
Yes, our banks are exposed to Greek debt, as they are to other peripherals, rather more than Greece, actually. But it's the uncertainty, it's the lack of confidence that is really sapping things here, making sure that the banks, for instance, don't want to lend for mortgages, lend to small businesses. Because of their exposure to Greece, they're becoming more and more risk averse. It is having an impact, and the longer this uncertainty drags on, the more difficult it'll become. There are some who say, let's have a short, sharp break now. It would be dreadful, but maybe that's the best way to go.
OK, food for thought. John Whittaker, thank you very much for going through all of that with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. It's just nudged past 7:15. You're watching Breakfast from BBC News. Here are the morning's main stories. There is mounting pressure on the government for an independent inquiry on changes to the way that this year's GCSEs were graded, as some schools consider legal action.
We've been talking about the Greek Prime Minister, who's expected to repeat his request for more time to make cuts to help reduce the country's deficit. This when he meets the French President, François Hollande, later.
Also coming up in the programme,